Hello Fly Nation and welcome to the Freestyle Your Life podcast, the one and only podcast inspiring you to live your authentic greatness while teaching you that less is more. I'm your host, Annette Zimmermann, and I'm on my mission to help you to be the hero you were meant to be and to live what you came for in life and in business. Remember, the quest we came here for is to discover our true nature, explore our potential and share it by living. My guest today, dear Fly Nation, is Sebastian Hilbert. He is originally German, as I am, but moved to Australia, beautiful Australia, and is leading a company there with his partner in life and in business, Teresa. And he is a leading authority in the wellness growth training. So he's helping wellnesspreneurs that maybe you are and I am, to facilitate their business, to make a greater impact and really gain influence and become visible, and how to set up automated systems to help us doing our business, what we're doing here, right? So this is fantastic, and welcome, Sebastian. So lovely to have you here on the Fly podcast.
Absolute pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, so please go ahead and share a little bit how you came from Germany to Australia. What was the idea? Was it the girl and in the first thought, or did you met her there? And we're interested, of course, in your personal story, and how did you come to what you're doing now to set up this system and to help wellnesspreneurs like I am?
Yeah, so the story starts in a very small village in Germany. So with small, I mean 200 people, 199 since I left. So it is very small. And for me, first, I came to Australia because of a study, and I study hotel management. Now, when I came to the end of that study, which I completed with honors here in Australia, which I'm really proud of, but when I came to the end of the course, I realized that something wasn't quite right. There was something I didn't like about it. So I started to actually talk to the general managers of the big 5-star hotels in Australia who I worked for. So I worked for the Four Seasons, for the Park Hyatt in Sydney, and for big 5-star hotel chains in Melbourne. And I talked to them, and what they told me, what their job was and how they got there, I just didn't like. So I started to look into alternatives and came across, as I always say, the universe nudges you in the right ways, right? So if you're looking for something, it will give you something. And yes, I found different mentors from the UK who were in Australia, and I read different books like The Millionaire's Mind from T. Harv Eker, and I read How to Think and Grow Rich, and all of a sudden a whole new world opened up to me. So that was like my first experience where a whole new world of an alternative pathway in your life opened up to me. And I decided to spend that little money I saved from my study to do a course, and that's when I started my own business. Now, we started to build websites, and we quickly understood that just the website is not really doing it. You need to do much more.
Yes.
And then a second time, we had clients from all over the world, and we had clients in all different branches and different industries. And then one thing what happened over the past 5 years, I realized that all of the people that I know from back home, or many of them, were suffering from the big three, and that's diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. I lost 2 grandfathers to those big three. My mother's a chronic hypertensionist. I lost 2 good friends at a very young age to cancer.
Yeah.
And I was always told at home that that's just how it is. You can't do anything about that. And I was like, when I came to Australia, I saw all these different therapists and alternative health practitioners, and they told me that in 90% of the cases, that's actually preventable.
Yes.
So I was just completely amazed and thought, oh my God, this is incredible. I want to bring that back to my home, to that unfortunately not undereducated area where I grew up, in undereducated in that area, just that nobody knew, right? Nobody knew about that. So I decided to explore this further and looked at what health, wellness, and lifestyles professionals needed. And I realized they were really, really good in what they were doing. And in their modality, right? They're great in treatments, great in finding the right supplements, and great in telling you what exercise to do and so on. But what they were not good at was in my profession, which is the digital marketing, which is business strategy. Everything that had to do with how to grow and scale a business and actually create a lifestyle business rather than having a business that rules your world, they were not taught. So that was the point when I said, okay, we want to specialize in that. I want to help those people, and by impacting those people, move the world to sustainable wellness.
Yeah, that's so interesting, and that's why I came across you, Sebastian, because I was curious how you bring this together, right? So how has the medicine part, the health part, impacted you with the business you're doing, which is furthermore online marketing, right? So to help us who are health practitioners who are really good at their job, but might not be visible to the outside. So nobody knows they are that great. How can you find them, right? So it's not only to be good at what you're doing, but also to be good and to be visible. Without being visible, nobody knows, right? And that's my business here. And so you're doing a great job, but not everybody, of course, knows you. And so that's why I'm giving you my stage to share your greatness here, so more people can know you, right? Can see you, can hear you, and you can help there. That's the goal here. So
wonderful.
Because most of my tribe here are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and they all struggle with being visible and making the impact outside that they really want to make. But as long as they are stuck in their business, nobody sees them, right? So just by becoming visible, more people can find you, and you can gain influence, of course, and get a greater impact. And that's what we are all looking for, right? So there might be somebody who is in the health business and professional at his job doing there, but doesn't know how can I get it onto the street, right? How can people find me? So when I stumbled around your system, I was reminded on Marcus and Andy. Do you know them? The two Australians?
Yes, I do know them.
Yeah. They're doing a really great job, and sort of, for my consideration, similar with what you do. So they help wellnesspreneurs also, and they are doing a great job. They're coming up soon also here. They're just touring around. So, okay,
wonderful.
This reminded me on what you're doing. Okay, and so how, so primarily you're doing the websites and everything, but you're putting the health part into it, or how does this work?
Okay, so we do build websites, and that's one passion of mine, because I see it so often that they are just done wrongly, and we had a lot of clients come to us who spend thousands of dollars building a new website and marketing campaign. They may have started a new business and thought, okay, well, we got to be online, and that's very true. So the first thing we do, we build a website, and then we get an agency to do it, and we also get that agency to do like maybe a radio campaign, right? I had one client from like 2 or 3 years ago. They literally spent $50,000 on a new website and a radio marketing campaign. Now, it took over a year to get the website done. A year in the online space is ages, huge, right? Like, it's absolutely massive. Everything changes. Like the things that you put in place at the beginning of the year have changed at the end of the year. And yes, that can sometimes be a bit tedious, but it's just how it is. We got to work with it. And the other thing was they did not really invest in their business, or the agency didn't, right? So they didn't really understand and got them to really express how they wanted to reach their market. So they just built something and put their advertising out with no strategy, with no systems. And after 2 years, they realized we spent all that money, we didn't get anything back. Mm-hmm. And I see that so often. Now, when we went in, there were just some simple changes needed to really make the website work. Because it was a professionally built website, they really spent a lot of money, so they got a professional website.
Right.
But here's two things that most websites miss. First of all, call to actions, right? Every single page I create, if there's no call to action, there's no real point of the website, of that page, right? It's like you share a lot of great value. I read through that, and then at the end, there's nothing. So then what I'm supposed to do? And what people most times do, they think of something else, they get distracted, they go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So unless you have something at a button, a call to action, and it could even be as simple as contacting, which is not the best thing, but at least it's something better than nothing. Mm. You got to have that. And the other thing is that most therapists, most wellness coaches, and also other soul traders, business coaches, they focus a lot on saying on their website what they do, the solution they provide. So I'm great at X, Y, Z, and I use naturopathy and acupuncture to treat, and I do massage, and I have all these certifications. Now, unfortunately, nobody really cares, right? People are out there to solve a problem. So if I go online and I search something in Google, there's something that triggered me to take that action and search for something, to look for something. That's usually some kind of problem. I woke up with back pain in the morning, or I realized I put on too many kilos over Christmas. I want to get rid of that. Now, when I go on a website, what catches me is something that states, you understand my problem, and then what outcome do you deliver on? Is that the outcome that I'm looking for? Now that's what grabs me. Right. So we need to have call to action, and we need to move away from solution focused to problem outcome focused with our language that we use on our website. Now we do that, but that's only a part of our business. It's not really what we focus on.
Because what I discovered, Sebastian, is and what I see with colleagues is we as entrepreneurs, we think, well, we give it into the hand of the specialists, right, of the agencies, but they are building a website which is not at all for our customer, right? Because it's clean and it's all about we us, right, as the owner, but not about them, who we talk to. And most of the time we don't give no experience of our work or whatever we do, right? We are just telling I do, but the third party testimonials are much more important than when I say, well, I'm great, right? If you say I'm great, that was a fantastic talk, that's what counts, right? So we need really to give our customers and clients a sort of where they can experience what we do, right? So with me, they just need to listen here, and either they like it or not, but that's proof how I am, how I lead my business, and how it is, or with you being on the show here, right? So they want to get a feeling. Who is he or she? What is she doing? What is her focus? What are her values, his values, his mission, and is this conform to mine? And are we empathic and whatever, right? So this normally a website doesn't show. So in former times, the usual websites from the agency, they did not have no podcast or no talk or no TV show, nothing on that. It's just telling we are great and come on board. And
how I always absolutely know how I often compare this is I say it in a funny way, but most, like, it's a little bit like asking to get married on the first date
before dating. Yes.
It's I also say, like, I mean, I have my partner, my business partner, and my partner in life. I love her dearly, but I always say, like, imagine you would see your dream woman or your dream man across the street, and you would go over and say, like, hey, I'm good looking, I'm great in this, I'm great in that, I'm really a really good cook, and you tell that person right away how great you are, and then you say, would you like to marry me? It's very, very unlikely that it will go well. But if you ask that person about how they are, what they are looking for, what they would like to do, and then you take them a small little step on the first date, and you repeat that a couple of times until you build that know, like, and trust. After a while, if you ask the question, then you have a much better chance. And that's the same with online marketing, and that's really what we focus on. So we build websites, but we show you how you get someone on this, what we call the wellness client journey, on this path, exactly, and how you identify the stepping stones for your business to actually build that know, like, and trust, and then how you automate that as much as possible without losing your authenticity. That you only then actually talk to people who already know what you stand for, and they share the same values, they like what you're doing, they already have an understanding how you do things, and they're really already aligned with you, and you basically just have to have that personal connection and talk about a few logistics and a few minor details, answer some questions, and then the deal is done.
Right. And it's so with the example from the marriage, it's so obvious that doesn't work, right? But it's the same in life and in business. If we just fall into the door, that doesn't work, right? So we need some time to prepare on the way there, to gain confidence and get the warm up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say you're most successful online if you replicate what you do offline.
Yeah.
Right. If we just think about how we build a relationship with someone that we meet first time in a networking event, at a family gathering, in a cafe, if you think about how we build a relationship with that person, what happens slowly but surely, and if we then take that on for what we do in our online presence, that will be it's a foundational principle that will really change what you do and to the better.
Yeah, totally agree, Sebastian. And what I think there are so many practitioners and coaches out there for every niche, so you help people find their niche also, right? This is also important, to be in the right niche, what fits you. And most of the expert I bring up here struggled in this area they are expert in just before themselves, like I did, right? So we had the problem there. Then we really focused so much and learned so much about it just to solve our own problem, and that's why we know so much about it today, right? And then it's, of course, it's sympathy, right? That must be given to really work well together as a coach and as the relationship that should be there. And then it's just practicing, right? Because from the outside, a coach or you, if you have a look on the websites, right, you have the knowledge how it should be, and then it's much easier from the outside to see what problem is there, how can we come up with a solution that fits the interest of the client. And we have a wider range that we see and that we look on, right? Then we ourselves, we just see the problem, but we don't have the eagle view to see all. So that's
right. We are often too close
narrow,
to the business to really get that right, because we are, it's our baby. We are really passionate about it, and it's really hard to actually step back and look from it from a different perspective and perspective of the prospects, the future customers, the clients, and then get in their shoes and then restructure everything, because as you said, we're really passionate about what we do, and then it's hard.
Yeah. So I want to thank you for your gift for the I Love the Fly podcast winner lottery part. So you gifted us with a clarity session on the business niche, whether we didn't find it yet, and marketing engagement language. So this would be what in special? What could we understand from that?
Okay, so we talked about moving away from solution to problem outcome focused with how we communicate with our market, right?
Yes.
So what we noticed and what we do with every single client that we put on board, take on board, is that if we get really clear on the problems we solve, the outcomes that we generate, and the solution that we provide to bridge the two, and not doing that with not just with a couple of words, but really using the language our target audience would use. If we get really clear on that, that will give us the foundation for everything else for our marketing and sales efforts. Right? It will give us the how we write ads, how we write our website content, how we do our social media, and literally everything that we want to put out to gain more exposure and put ourselves out there. So we have developed a process in how you can create that marketing engagement language. And from there, when you have that, it's quite easy actually to really pinpoint your niche. Because it really, we go through your story, we go through your whys, we go through your favorite client, develop your ideal client, and then we develop that language. And then your niche is very clear. Now, with that clarity session, you will get this process as a PDF, so you can go through that. And once you've done that, you get an hour with me where you have someone who's not, we talked about your being too close to your business, who's not so close to your business, can actually look at it from a different perspective, from, like I would say, like hovering 30,000 feet above your business, looking down and seeing everything. And really, we develop and clarify your marketing language and niche in that clarity session with me. And I usually charge $200 for that. and I'm happy to give that away for your lottery.
Yeah, that's so great. Thanks so much for that. So just to recap, Sebastian, it's the problem. We state the problem, then we come up with the solution, and then the third part was
outcomes. So always,
because in right now, not the agencies, but the a good system would be to state the solution, right? But you are just telling us, no, that is not the best thing to do. So we should better state the problem, then the solution we come up with, and then the outcome. So the visualization where the person will be doing this, right?
Yeah. So really think about if the first time you get a client and or they're coming to your office and they say like, look, I am interested in working with you because, and then just think about what they are saying. So what problems do they express to you, and how do they express that? What language do they use to express that problem, and what fears do they have if you don't solve that problem? Yeah. Now you need to really get really clear on that. Yes. And then when you ask them, so what are you looking for? What would you like to achieve? And so when you ask that, then they will express their wants. And if you ask them why they want that, they will express their dreams to you. Like they're real, what they're like. I always say, think about the effect of the outcome of the what. So they say what they want, or you know what you do, and you create some outcomes with that, but what effect has it on their life? So for instance, a naturopath tells you tells you how to change your diet. The outcomes would be that you have a better diet and you lose some weight and you have more energy. But now what effect has that on that person's life? So they may say, well, I can finally play with my children again, or I can finally perform better at the athletic sport that I'm doing. So you want to get
travel
really,
or whatever,
or whatever it is. But it is very important that you have that written down and you clearly say that.
Yeah. So they can imagine from reading it. Okay.
Yeah. Then that's what really connects with people, right? So if you write, that's their self-talk, right? We all have the self-talk in our head. Yeah. So that if you tap into that self-talk, that's what they're telling. I struggle with that. I have difficulty with that. What I really want is this, and what I dream of is this. Yeah. And if you tap into that, that's what will really connect with people. Right. And once you've done it, then you can do the solution.
Right. And the other thing would just be stating abstract things, right? But not connected to what they really want.
Yeah. Exactly.
I understand that. I will check my site.
Yeah. So it's quite an intense process to go through that, because you really have to change how you think about this, and you really have to think about, okay, what did that person actually say to me when they first came to me? What words did they use? And did they say, I'm really stressed every single day, and I've struggled to get up in the morning? Or did they say, at the end of the day, I feel completely exhausted and I just can't do anything more than just go to my 9-to-5 job? Right? If you find that wording, and that's different for everyone else, because we have different ideal clients, right? So if you find that wording, you think about that, and you get clear on that, your niche becomes very, very clear very quickly.
So in the best point, we are talking to our avatar, right? So our ideal client, and we have to figure him or her out. Me too, for my podcast here. So I cannot talk to everybody, and not everybody of my guests and expert fits, right? So what what I did is I want everybody who's talking on my podcast here must be in some way sympathetic to me, right? So I have the luxury problem. I'm already booking the guests on the show into 2020. So I have so many people that want to talk, or I stumble on to somebody who I think that might be a good fit for my listeners, and interesting for myself. I always learn myself here in the talks, and also, like you, very sympathetic to me, right? So as long as I have enough guests of that manner, why should I take others, right? And I always want to talk, and also my guests, of course, in examples, right? And in life stories. So that's why I just wanted to know how you came there, and being with your spouse there now. But you didn't tell us. Did you meet her there, or did you?
Yeah, so we went to the same school in Australia. Actually, we went to the same school, and when I finished, we actually went back to Germany, Europe for 4 years, traveled around in Europe, having started our own business at the same time. And we did we lived in Switzerland, we lived in Vienna, we lived in Germany. We run a bed and breakfast for 9 months in France. Mm-hmm. So we've done a lot during that time, but then it came to the point where we said, okay, we actually want to get really serious about our business. We want to build a future with that. And we said, well, let's do it in Australia, because I always felt in Australia I could be free and I could do anything. So she started with me. We have a great partnership, but she is Australian, and I met her over here.
Okay. And for us as Germans to set up a business there, is it difficult? Is there, or could we just go and say, get a permission to live and work there? I don't have no idea. I'm just asking.
Yeah. So I got a visa through Teresa, right? So we have a de facto relationship visa, it's called. It's not that easy actually to get a permanent residency in Australia. They really tightened the laws recently. Mm-hmm. Also made it quite expensive. But yeah, I think there are ways. I'm not exactly sure how it is if you just want to come over here and start a business. I think it very much depends what kind of business it is, and how much you want to invest, and how big you think it's going to be. And I'm sure that there's possibility, but usually you have to find a sponsor who you work for I think 12 months. Mm-hmm. And then you can get your permanent residency, and then you can start your business. But I think that's probably what you would need to do, which is the most likely way to get a permanent residency here.
So it's very similar to Canada. My oldest son,
I think so.
My oldest son went to Canada just to explore the country, and was supposed to come back after 1 year, but didn't. And no, he wants to stay over there. And he's in his 2nd year now. So the mechanism is really similar to
there you go. Yeah, would be, yeah. But otherwise, look, starting a business is never easy, no matter where you do it.
Yeah. But you know what, Sebastian, I'm a big fan of doing it together, like the solopreneur we do here, right? If doing with your partner. I have some experience that also with my ex-husband, who's the father of my 2 sons. But it's a challenge also, because you stick together like 24 hours, right? That can be a challenge too. But Absolutely. If it works, it's the greatest thing on earth, right?
Yeah, and it is wonderful most of the time. But there's also things that you've got to be really really pay a lot of attention to, like what you just said. You're together a lot, so you really have to make the effort to find things that you do on your own, that you get your me time, and that you meet other people, and that you get friends that you may not have together. And it may sound a bit funny, but it's really what you got to manage. And you also got to manage not to always talk about business. So we said when we have dinner or when we have lunch, we said, okay, this is going to be a non-business lunch. We talk about something else. And it's quite difficult because this is always in your mind, right? You're always thinking and want to do something and brainstorm and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's wonderful. And generally, it's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and not to take, of course, business problems into the private relationship, right? So discussion, there's nothing bad about it to have a different thinking on some things, how business goes, right? But not to, really to separate it and not to take it into the dinner table, right?
Yeah. Take the emotions out. It can be very hard. It's definitely one of my struggles. Teresa always points it out, to take the emotions out, because someone says something who is really close to you. You have a lot of associations and a lot of interpretations that you wouldn't have with just a business partner. And you really have to make an effort to take those emotions and associations out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we got the process now, Sebastian, and you have the roadmap. I will put everything in the show notes so the listeners can just look it up and find it. We're nearly at the end of our time. Is there something else you wanted to mention, or we did not cover here?
Well, I guess I would
want our listeners to leave with.
Yeah, well, look, one of the biggest thing that I really want to bring across is like change your language. And that's also the reason why we created the Wellness Business Transformation Masterclass, which we, I guess when this is going live, will have been launched. And that's really a passion project of mine, because I just see how it changes so much for our clients. And I wanted to share this for free with the world, because the motivation that comes from the clarity. People, Tony Robbins always says, clarity is power, right?
Yes.
So if you get that clarity on your niche and the problems that you solve and what you actually delivered for the person that you want to deliver it to, and not just how you would express it, it just gives you such motivation to move forward. And it gives you this pathway of all the things you can change now and use to make a bigger impact. So we decided to get this process and at the right training, that the training we have developed over the past 3 years, to put that in a masterclass that we recorded and give away completely for free. So that's really what I would love to share with the audience, and invite them to have a look at and use it to really create that foundation for that business and their sales and marketing, really.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We will mention that, and also the wellnesspreneur growth roadmap, right? So they can get that on your site for free also, and the 9-point guide there. Okay, we will do that. And let me check here if we have some. I realized there was something with the link. Did you check that?
Yeah, absolutely. That will be fine. So as I said, we are launching it. We're putting it out in beta this week, in the beginning of June.
Okay. And just send me another link then.
Yeah, that link will work. That link will be the right link.
Okay. It's not just not working now. Okay.
It's just not live yet, but that link will be delivered.
That will not be the problem. Okay, because I check every link I get.
Very good.
Just put it on my website, and then my listeners click on that, and there's nothing because there's a mistake inside, and then they can't reach out. So I check every link I get before I put it on the site. So perfect.
Yeah, very good.
That's great. So that's how they can get in touch with you, and also start with the free entry here, and then move any further. And no matter where they are, you're doing the business online, just like I do here. So there is no doesn't have
restriction or
somebody from Australia, from wherever the clients come from, right?
Absolutely.
That's great. So thanks so much for being here, Sebastian, and greetings
so much
to
fun.
you from old Germany, and big hug.
Thank you so much. Big hug back to you. Sending you lots of love from over here, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And also thank you for inviting me and having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So bye-bye. Have a lovely day. And you listeners out there, I hope you gain some new ideas on what we should focus as solopreneurs regarding how we talk to our clients and point out what they really suffer from and how we really could help them. And if you're looking for more impact and gaining influence, then Sebastian is your man.
Thank you so much, and it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Have a lovely day, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening in. I hope you got new inspiration to seek help and surrender to love no matter what situation you're in. Hopefully you could take away that transformation is possible. By getting the right support, you can embrace life joyfully and enjoy your life on your own authentic terms. Please rate and review the Freestyle Your Life podcast on freestyle-your-life.com/podcast if you like today's talk, and make sure you qualify for the amazing I Love the Fly podcast giveaway by subscribing and referring 3 friends to the Freestyle Your Life podcast. All experts and myself are happy to assist and support you. Just reach out to us. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to tune in next Thursday and listen in to your next inspiration on how to freestyle your life. You'll learn another priceless shortcut on how to break free and restyle your life on your own authentic terms. Becoming authentically you will ease your life and business. Remember, Fly Nation, break free and fly. Looking forward to talk to you next Thursday. Bye.